Hi everyone and welcome to Crypto Ripto. In today's rundown we're going to be going through the Bitcoin price action and also through some of the top headlines in the news. Now it's no surprising if you've been following the Bitcoin price that it was shooting up to the highs. We was hoping to put in a higher high, but it's been rejected at 36,000 where there was strong resistance. Now we're going to look at the charts and look at the price action to see what Bitcoin is doing and how we think Bitcoin's going to improve. So if you want to know more about the Bitcoin price action, stay tuned and let's get into the video. Hello everyone, welcome back to Crypto Ripto's Bitcoin price analysis. Now we're going to keep this very simple, no over jargon technical analysis. We're going to jump straight into the chart. And if you've been following the Bitcoin price action on this channel for a few days now, or a few weeks, you'll see we was going to have a big test of resistance against the 200-day moving average. It was around about the 36,000 mark, and Bitcoin did not fail. As we said, it will probably get rejected, and it did. But how far has it been rejected, and where is it going to bounce from? So let's jump into the chart, and let's get crypto. Well, as you can see, we'll jump straight into the chart now. And it was no surprising that Bitcoin got rejected around about, I think it was around about 36,000 mark dead on. Now, we said it would have a big trouble breaking that resistance of the 200-day moving average. But we wanted it to do that to put in a higher high. But unfortunately, Bitcoin got rejected and it's come back down and tested this line that we put in. Now, obviously, it's not closed to this line, but the wick did hit that around about the 33,000 mark. And we've had this line in here now way back since the 27th of June, because Bitcoin was putting in new kind of platforms for support and resistance. We're still trading in this whole channel as a whole between 31,000 and 41,000. But we needed Bitcoin to start putting in higher highs. And it was doing that. We had a higher high here and higher low here. We had a nice bounce off this 33,000. And we thought with this higher low, we would see at least a tickle of the 7,500 support that it's been putting in way back here around about the 10th of June. But we were in danger of this big bad boy here, which is the 200-day moving average. And you can see the wick went all the way up there and it got rejected just before that. So obviously whoever was looking at this had a front run on this. Now, you know, we're a big fan on this channel of volume spread analysis, and the volume was quite, it was high. That's normal. That's just a high. But if we go into the 1 hour, you can see the volume was ultra high volume in the sell bracket. So we had a big massive ultra volume sell here. It went from being bullish, got rejected at the 50-day moving average on the 1 hour, and it dumped. It sank like the Titanic. So we like to trade the 4 hour chart here because it'll give us an overview. So we'll look at the 4 hour and the daily. But Bitcoin is struggling. Now, this could be down to a couple of things. It could be down to the news, where there's a little bit of news on Bitcoin that, you know, the mining is not going out it should. You know, the market's a bit stalled. It's a bit stagnant at the moment. We had an indicator here that Bitcoin was oversold. But for me, personal opinion, I look at these charts in a lot of detailed technical analysis, which I think we're trying to keep it jargon, and some people like to call it opium free on this channel. So we just need really the sort of fundamental technical analysis on Bitcoin. And the fundamental is Bitcoin is not managing to break its key resistance areas. It's bouncing off some of its strong supports, but it's not breaking its key resistance areas. So it's actually putting in another kind of descending kind of wedge. Descending triangle, descending wedge. I don't know how you guys like to say these things, but we can just pop one in here. I like to go from bodies. Bodies are candles here, but you can see if we just put that in kind of here, and I'll move this across. You can see Bitcoin's obviously down in this kind of descending wedge pattern here, but it's forming now to this kind of 33,000 area, and this is becoming quite a big support now for Bitcoin. So fingers crossed, hopefully Bitcoin will not break that level, but you know, it only takes one dodgy, shocking bit of news. Bitcoin had its little fake out here, rejected at the 200-day moving average, fell straight back into this wedge, as it has been doing when we had the wedge here and it fell in. But the interesting thing is, and I'm going to go on to another bit of analysis about the Wyckoff stuff that everyone's pumping hard on the socials, is that it didn't fall down, and it hasn't fell down yet, into this kind of like lower area. It's still just bouncing back off this new support that it took around about 33,000. So we're hoping now for a bounce off that, and we start coming up to see about, at the moment, is 33,400, which is about where this line is here. So we need to start seeing a bit more of movement up and coming to test this kind of area here. But I mean, this is just for your viewing purposes. To be honest, for me, it needs to start breaking out of this key resistance area of 35,000, and then it has a bit of an uphill battle to break the 36,000 200-day moving average. Bitcoin needs to start being a bit stronger and a bit more dominant to start putting in these higher highs and lower lows. But at the moment, we're not seeing that, and we're going to shoot to the daily quickly. And I've got to readjust the chart just for your viewing purposes, because obviously we're on the daily now. You can see on the daily it doesn't look as bad because of the wick, but the other wick, the 33.4 is going to close here. So the daily one's going to be about here. So it's going to be low as a bounce off there. So it traded in this kind of wedge, tried to break out above here, got rejected. So if we see actually on the daily, it didn't really break out of this. It never closed on the daily above this 35,000 kind of moving average. The big D cross here is planning to swing hard. You've got a lot of people still talking about the kind of Wycroft accumulation schematic, saying is it going into phase D? I don't know what you people think. Please leave a comment below and think if you think it's going into phase D. Personally, I can't see that at the moment. I think it's a difficult one to call. I don't think you can say it's going into phase D when it's not popping high here. You think if it was going into, like, shooting up to phase D, let's just zoom into it. Right, if it was going into phase D here, right, this would be pumping in a higher high. You can see here, it'd be pumping in. So there's a big bounce off the spring, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, pumping into a higher high. So where would you see that on this chart? If people are pumping this on the socials, it's Wycroft schematics. I don't want to be a bearer of bad news. I don't want to talk out against any other influencer on YouTube that's getting people excited with Wycroft schematics waffle. But let's just look at facts of facts and stats of stats. Where would you see it? I mean, what chart or what hour time frame? Please leave a comment. Would you go off to say we're doing the phase D on the Wycroft chart? Because the daily definitely isn't. The 4 hour definitely isn't, because we're putting a higher low. A much higher, a lot higher low here. Here, sorry, this one's a lower high. Look, that you see here, and we're putting a higher low here at the minute. So a lower high and a higher low, to me, is a bit. There's still a lot of fear in the market. There's not enough neutral or kind of euphoria to get Bitcoin going. And I cannot see where to put in this kind of phase D, which if you have a look here is right up here, then it's definitely, Bitcoin's definitely not doing that. So for me, what it's doing is what we said on this channel, is it's grinding up slowly. We said Bitcoin was going to be boring and stalled, and we said possibly sort of like July, Bitcoin might be tickling these kind of areas here. But at the moment, we're still trading sideways in this channel, but we're starting to just make a bit of a small progress momentum. And for me, I'm going to shoot to this chart. Look at this. This is when we done the Wyckoff, and I put it in, and this was playing out perfectly. And Wyckoff was in the capitulation phase where people were buying it up, and it's still, look at this. Look how perfectly this is trading sideways. So what this is confirming to me is this capitulation phase is just getting dragged out. It's just extending, so it's coming all the way. Look, you would see that the big capitulation phase is just extended because it's exactly the same momentum as it's been since the big crash down here. Now we're going to extend this box here now, and look at this for a capitulation phase where that means people have lost interest, the market's stalled, the market's gone boring, no one buying or really selling Bitcoin in high volume. And this has been going on now. When it dropped, we'll see this was a crash, and a big confirmation was here for me on the 21st of May. And we've extended this boring, stalled, sideways capitalization phase all the way to the 6th or the 5th of July, which is madness, which means to me that the market is still not ready. Is not ready to, I mean, you'll see all the YouTube things, and you'll see all the euphoria come out saying Bitcoin's price is ready to blow, Bitcoin's ready to go, and all this. But the charts don't lie. Stats are stats, facts are facts. And you can see here on this kind of Wyckoff, if people want to take this Wyckoff phase, or whether they want to say it's the accumulation bit. So that's the bit where we've dropped down and we're going sideways and then spring up. But if we look at this, we're still dropped down and we're still going sideways. There's no spring here. If people thought this was a spring, then you're jokers. Do you know what I mean? There's no spring yet. That, to me, that is 100%, sorry, 100% still sideways. It's still sideways. So this phase, phase B, what they're saying, and then we've dropped down into the spring, is not actually happened. I think what we're seeing is just a long legality of this kind of phase here. We had the highs, we dropped down, we bounced. It's still just being boring and manipulated. We cannot. I mean, you can look at some other YouTubers. I'm not going to name the names, but if you just look at some other YouTubers, they're going off this gospel. They're saying, yeah, we've got the spring stage as it come back into this and that. But have a look for yourselves. I mean, go on TradingView, just get a free chart, or watch this channel, and I'll put it up for you. I don't see where was that. Is this the spring phase? Because it can't be spring, because spring doesn't shoot down again, does it? If you have a look, spring goes to higher highs, higher lows. And if you have a look at this accumulation phase, there's no higher highs and higher lows here. This is the drop down, and to me, it's an extended version of this. And, you know, we might not get this drop right down here. I know people were calling out that this was it. Sorry, this was it here, and we had the spring here, and that we're up because we had this big bit of ultra volume to the pump side here. But for me, no. For me, it's still trading sideways, and till we start breaking out here and retesting the 41,000 mark, we're still in the channel, and Bitcoin's going to be sideways and boring. As long as we don't break down past the D line, I don't think Bitcoin is going to do anything great. I mean, it's making small momentums. People are pulling all sorts of hours out and all sorts of patterns, but let's just basic technical analysis and no boring. It was oversold, massively oversold, so it dropped. And it dropped now, and now it's undersold because obviously people have sold out. It took a nice bounce of a higher support. So hopefully this, to me, hopefully is saying good things for Bitcoin. So for me, it's looking more positive than it is negative. I'm not gonna lie. If leave a comment below, you can challenge me on this. If you want to tell me otherwise or prove to me otherwise. Bitcoin's boring still and trading in a channel, but it's more positive. I'm more positive on Bitcoin on the 5th of July than I was on the 26th of June, because we tested it 1, 2, 3 times. We've got this D-line a smack, and luckily we didn't break it. And now Bitcoin seems to have found a new kind of support here, up in the 33,000 mark. So hopefully we can start testing this 36 again. We could start pumping up, testing this 36 again, and making higher highs. But until we start making higher highs and higher lows, and start climbing our way up to reach this kind of 41,000 mark and smash past this 200-day moving average, Bitcoin's going to be boring, unfortunately, and it's just now trading off support and resistances, and you can see it in the patterns, the charts. It's not hard to predict it. It's just when it's going up, but it's not like irrational going up. It's longs. It's going up over the course of like 3 or 4 days. It's going down over the course of like 3 days, up again over 3 days. It'll probably go down here a little bit over a couple of days and back up. And hopefully this will get tighter and tighter and tighter, and till it's compressed, and we like to see that, and it'll start compressing and getting tighter towards the 35,000 mark here, and hopefully pop like a little rocket and go up. But at the moment, I mean, if you're the brave traders out there, and again, this is not financial advice, this is just me showing you the charts, giving you the facts of facts and stats of stats. If we start seeing some nice volume come in, and we start seeing not ultra volume on blue candles, we need ultra volume on the yellow candles, the buy candles. And the buy signal comes in, the volume spread analysis has said the money's come in, and the smart money people are popping. But we need some more bullish news. We need some, mining news, or need some like something that's going to, give the confidence to the market. And at the moment, we've not got that. So unfortunately, Bitcoin got rejected at 36. We've seen a decline. We've only seen a decline really of about 3,000. It's not been a major drop. It's a smaller drop than we've had over the last few times. So I'm still optimistic. Bitcoin's still looking good. It's looking the best. Take this from the channel. It is looking the best it has done for the last month. And Bitcoin's looking in the best position at this moment in time it has done for the last month. So, let's hope Bitcoin, wait till tomorrow's analysis. Please tune in for that. And we'll see if Bitcoin's starting to make these strides, starting to get some momentum. So we can start putting some plans in. Until Bitcoin stops being boring and stops being, sideways, stagnant, you cannot plan. We cannot plan any buys. We cannot plan any trades. Why would you at this point in time? You'd just be gambling, in my opinion. You can do the boring bits, you know what I mean? Like buy it as support, sell it resistance. But I mean, even that itself is harder work than you're probably going to get benefit from. And it's long. So again, everyone, I hope you find this information on the Bitcoin price useful and jargon free. We could start banging in some fib retracements and saying it's in the golden pocket and blah blah blah, but I'll just be chatting crap to you. You know what I mean? So let's just keep it simple. Facts are facts. It's like people were saying that Bitcoin's hit its golden pocket here, and it could go to the upside, and if it does it here, or it could go to the downside, and it'll go here. Look back at not the last Bitcoin analysis, the one before, and then look back at the last Bitcoin analysis we did on this channel, and you will see that we said that Bitcoin probably will get rejected at this 200-day moving average. We said that was a massive, you know, challenge for it, and we needed to be careful there. We didn't need no fib retracements. We didn't need no waffle or no crackers. Do you know what I mean? We just actually used our common knowledge and said we don't need to overcomplicate this bad boy. We don't need to jargon ourselves up. Let's just be sensible. Let's be smart traders on crypto Ripto. And it played out exactly as we predicted. And we knew we was going to have some little pain. What we didn't know, and we couldn't predict because we're only human, I mean, not psychic, we don't know everything, is that for me, Bitcoin's more positive. Yes, it is at the same levels that it went down to when it had the little rejection here and at the 2nd of July, but it's a smaller rejection here. So it's got more likelihood to use this as confirmation bounce and break out of this and retest this 35,000 support and break through the 200-day moving average. So that's the bad boy on that. Now, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps. Tickle that bell notification. It really helps. If you find this useful, please let me know in the comments. That helps me personally. It doesn't help the channel that much, but it helps me personally because I want to know what you think. I want to do this for my community, my ecosystem. I want to make sure I'm giving you the right information. And I always ask people, do you want more technical analysis? Do you want me to jazz it up? Because I can put all the fib retracements in. I can do the swings and the stuff like that. I can put a lot more technical data on there. But I just basically don't think it's going to help you. So, but let me know in the comments. I'm here to like provide for you people as well. So if you want to see that, we will do that. But I think personally it's better to keep it jargon free and let's just trade on facts and stats. With that said, let's jump straight into the news. And no surprise, the news is it's not as bad as we've been seeing. It's not like it's mainly Ethereum because of obviously Ethereum's hard forks coming up. People are super bullish on Ethereum. They reckon it's going to do well. Obviously, they're still talking about the mining difficulty drop. 5 things to watch in Bitcoin this week, and we will jump into this because I don't think it's all related. Like the stocks records and oil, stock records and oil feud. I don't think that's gonna make a great difference. Fundamentals aren't out of the woods. BTC price action spooked at 36, and obviously, if we just pump that in, this was the spooked at 36 here. But we did say that that kind of 36 level and the 200-day moving average would cause a drop. Now, this is on the 1 hour. Now, the reason that they've got the 1 hour here because it looks a more dramatic drop than it is. Because obviously, if you look at the daily or the 4 hourly, the drop's more consolidated because the last drop here is bigger in my opinion from here to here. So this was obviously a big buy block because it shot straight up in one, and then we had a buy block here, and then obviously we had some big sells here. So if you brought here and you did get spooked, you're gonna drop all of that. It's probably dropped all of that, and they're still in profit. Because Bitcoin's boring, they're having to take smaller bits of profit. So that's the news. It's a bit of it's not really fear or FUD or FOMO. What is in the news at the moment is the stable coins. People are a little worried on the stable coins and saying, you know, hot stories. Are the stable coins bad? Are they? Is like USDTC like over accelerant, and is it over kind of like stretched? I don't think so. I think the stable coins are still good. I think they will be. You know, I think it's just people are trying to put a bit of fear and FOMO out there on them. They're still backed. So I think they'll be absolutely fine. But again, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. But even the news is slow at the minute. even the news are not really. They got Bitcoin exchange supply hits a 6-year low as accumulation continues, which is confirmation in this as accumulation continues. So they've actually told the truth for once. So we'll give them a clap there and give them a virtual high five where you're watching from. So the news is not really FOMO and fear at the moment. The fear and greed index is, when can we bother to load, creeping up a little bit. It was 27 yesterday, it's 29 today. So we're looking a bit more, it's fear now, it's not extreme fear. So we're looking a bit more towards the upside. Like I said before, it was positive. So all in all, it's not, as a roundup, it's not that bad at the moment. You know, it could be worse, could be better, but we're not in a bad place. And it's just the beginning of the week. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens, like coming into tomorrow when we do the analysis tomorrow and stuff like that. But I think, like I said, I'm still optimistic on Bitcoin for this week. We're only talking about this week because I think that'll show us a little bit more how it's hitting that wedge and stuff like that. We'll look at the news. The news is quite positive. So it's not positive, but it's not negative. So that's a good roundup for that. So thanks for watching, everyone. I really appreciate it. I want to give you a virtual R5 for staying till the end. And as always, trade smart, trade safe, and don't get wrecked.